I'm here. I'm
Okay.
here.
All right. Welcome, everybody. This is our review session for our 2/1 class, for our second week of the 2/1 class. The first week, we talked about 2/1 itself and why it's superior and what it is, etc. This past week, we talked about the big change that has to occur with the 2/1 system, and that is the expansion of the one no Trump bid. And then the next couple of weeks, we're going to focus on responding to 2/1 bids and using the power of them to find the right contract and to find slams. So that's what we'll be doing the next 2 weeks. But this week, we're going to be talking about the no Trump bid itself. So let me take a look at the handout that we had on 2/1 so we can kind of focus on that to discuss this. Okay, so this is what we were talking about in class the first week. And we talked about the fact that 2/1 is an adjustment to standard American. It is not really a different system. It is just an adjustment to standard American that applies sometimes. And when it doesn't apply, then we're playing standard American. So it's not like learning a whole new system, but it does make some adjustments to standard American. The bottom line of what it does is, and the reason it has the name 2/1 game force, is that if your partner has opened the bidding at the one level and you make a non-jump response at the two level, that now promises a game strength hand by you. So that means an opening hand by the two level bidder. So the opening bidder had an opening hand. By definition, if you respond at the two level without jumping, you are also promising an open hand. In standard American bidding, you would only be promising 10 points. In standard American bidding, a bid of one heart by my partner, two diamonds by me, just promises 10 points and diamonds. So it doesn't describe a lot about the hand other than promising 10 points. But in the 2/1 system, once we've agreed to play that system, one heart, two diamonds promises an opening hand by the two diamond bidder. And because we both have opening hands, we are in a game force bidding situation. And we agree that we will not stop until we reach some game level. So that's the big difference between 2/1 and standard American. That if you bid at the two level over a one level bid, you are promising game strength bidding without 10 points, more than 10 points. It's just 10 points if you're in standard American, 13 points if you are playing 2/1. The advantage of this is that you can move more slowly without worrying about partner passing at some point when you don't have an easy fit. You guys know that if you start out one heart and your partner bids two diamonds in standard American, well, he's got 10 points. If you've got 15 or 16 points, you probably have a game. But how do you know? How do you get to that? Because either one of you could pass at either time unless you keep making forcing bids. And it's hard to make a forcing bid or to agree on a suit and know that you have game. So if, for instance, I bid a heart and my partner bids two diamonds and I bid two spades, well, that shows six spades and 13 points. If my partner has like 11 or 12 points and he wants to play those diamonds or he wants to bid no trump, if he wants to bid either one of those again, that's not a forcing bid, and I can pass, even though he thinks we may have game in standard American. But in 2/1, where you don't have an immediate fit, you can find a fit much more easily because you know you're going to go to game. You just haven't agreed where it is yet. So that's one of the advantages. You are not going to stop until you get to game. And it also means it's easier to explore for slams because you have agreed you're not going to stop until you get to game. Once you have agreed on a suit below game, then there are some bids that you can make that help you explore slam without having just to jump to 4 no trump to ask for aces. So there are a lot of really strong things that come out of this bidding. So what does it actually promise? It is a non-jump bid over an opening 1 level bid by your partner. So your partner has bid 1 of something, you bid 2 of something without jumping. This promises 13 points. It promises if you're going to go to hearts, it promises 5 cards. Otherwise, it promises 4 cards in the suit. It only applies in certain situations. First of all, it only applies over 1 diamond, 1 heart, or 1 spade by your partner. 1 club, it does not apply. But if you think about it, this makes sense because there is no bid that you can make, no new suit bid you can make over 1 club at the 2 level without jumping. So if partner opened 1 club, you can bid 1 diamond, 1 heart, or 1 spade without jumping, but that's all at the 1 level. If you tried to go to the 2 level, you would be jumping. That would have a different meaning. So if partner opens 1 club, 2/1 is not going to apply. You're just going to make your regular 1 diamond, 1 heart, or 1 spade bid as you would have under standard American. It has the same meaning. It does not put you in a game force contract. It also only applies if the next player passes. So your partner is opened a diamond, a heart, or a spade. The next person has to pass. If there's interference from the opponents, 2/1 is off. You cannot do the 2/1 game force sequence if there is any interference, including a double. So the next person has to pass. Your responder then has to bid a new suit at the 2 level without jumping. So even if partner bids a heart, if you bid a spade, that is not a 2/1 game force because you just bid a spade. It's not at the 2 level. You could have 13 points, but you just can't make the game forcing bid in that situation. Also, responder has to be an unpassed hand. If your hand is passed originally, if it goes pass, 1 diamond by your partner, pass 1 heart, or even 1 heart, pass 2 diamonds, that's not a game force. If your original passed hand, it's not a game force because you don't have 13 points. If you had 13 points, you would have bid. So you can't put your partner in a game forcing situation. So it is not 2/1 in that situation is not applicable. So if it's gone pass, 1 heart, pass, 2 diamonds by me, that's 10 to 12 points in a diamond suit. So 2/1 is off. So it only applies when the opening has been 1 diamond, 1 heart, or 1 spade. Next, no interference. New suit at the 2 level without jumping, and you're not a passed hand. And it says it does not apply, just makes sense, if there's interference, the next person doubles or overcalls, or if you were a passed hand originally, which we just said. Now, if you set the game force, so it goes 1 diamond, 1 heart, pass, 2 diamonds, two spades, well, the game force is already set here. So interference after the game 2/1 game forcing bid doesn't make any difference. You just work around that because the fact that you had it set at the beginning means you're in a game forcing situation no matter what your opponents do, unless it's maybe to double them below game. You are not going to pass before you get to a game. Also, got notes down here. 2/1 generally applies when you do not have 4-card support for your partner's major suit. If you have 4-card support for your partner's major suit, you should be bidding Jacoby 2 no trump. Some of you told me in class the first week that you weren't playing Jacoby 2 no trump. So we're going to cover that in our class this week, where we start talking more about the responses to 2/1. So we'll talk about that then. You should be playing that. So it implies you do not have 2/1 level support. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. And also, there's a lot of times that it's not going to apply. It's not going to apply if your partner bids a club also, but even a diamond or a heart, if you can bid a 4-card major without going to the 2 level, you're going to choose to do that instead, even if you have 13 points. In other words, you're not going to force yourself artificially to put yourself in a 2/1 game forcing bid. Because of all this, because of the fact you have to have started with a diamond, heart, or spade, you have to overcall at the 2 level without jumping or respond at the 2 level without jumping. There needs to be no interference from the opponents. There needs to be no 4-card fit with your partner's major suit. For all that to take place, the actual 2/1 game forcing bid doesn't take place that much. It does, it's not that infrequent, but it's really not that frequent either. Not that frequent. Out of, 24 hands, if you're playing a regular game, between the two of you, it might come up once or twice in a game. So it's not that often you actually deal with the 2/1 game forcing bid. But you do have to deal with the other major change that 2/1 does, and that is the forcing expanded 1 no trump bid. And that's what the subject of this week's discussion is. So over on page 2 of the handouts you got the first week, that's where we talk about the forcing no trump bid. Now, if you think about this for a minute, if your partner, if we're saying that for you as the responder, you can no longer make a 2-level bid with just 10 points. Now, if you're playing 2/1, you must have 13 points. Well, a regular 1 no trump response under standard American bridge, which just says partner, I have nothing else to bid. Can't bid my own suit at the 2 level. I can't raise your suit. Can't, jump in no trump. Can't do anything else. But I just have a certain level of points. That no trump bid is 6 to 9 in standard American. With 10 or more, you can bid at the 2 level. Well, because in 2/1, now you can't bid with 10 points at the 2 level. You have to have some bid for 10 to 12 points that's not at the 2 level. And so what we've done is we've expanded or stretched the 1 no trump bid in 2/1, 6 to 9, and in standard American it's 6 to 9. In 2/1, it's 6 to 12. It's a wide range because we have to give ourselves a place to land if we have points, but we don't have enough points to bid to the 2 level. Just the way in standard American it works, when you don't have 10 points to bid at the 2 level, you bid no trump. Same thing here. If you don't have 13 points to bid to the 2 level, you bid 1 no trump, but now it's expanded to mean 6 to 12 points. Now, because it is that wide of a range, you could have nearly an opening hand and do this. It is forcing. This is a big difference also over standard American. In standard American, one heart, one no trump by me is not forcing. But in 2/1, one heart by you, one no trump by me is forcing, because it could be 12 points. It could be a lot of points. And so, you don't know immediately that we have a game. I don't, with this is the no trump bidder. You can figure that out as the opener after my second bid and no trump. But so no trump is forcing in 2/1 over one heart or one spade. It's not forcing over one diamond. And the reason it's not forcing over one diamond is because if you bid one no trump over one diamond, you have not bid hearts or spades. So you have said, I don't have 4-card heart suit. I don't have a 4-card spade suit. I can't support your diamonds. I can't bid clubs because I don't have 13 points. So I'm bidding one no trump. But it's not forcing because the bid has now said too much. You've described a lot about your hand. So it's not forcing. It's forcing only over one heart or one spade. Then your partner must bid. But if you have already told him, if he's bid a diamond and you bid one no trump, you have said, I don't have 4 hearts. I don't have 4 spades. Got 6 to 12 points. Can't bid anything else. So partner can pass in that situation over one diamond. But if partner bid one heart or one spade and you bid one no trump, it is forcing. Partner must bid again. Also remember, if you're
Sorry, Sally,
yes. Mhm.
again, can you explain again? I apologize. Why it's not forcing over one diamond? Can you explain? I'm
Yes,
sorry, I didn't get it.
that's okay. No, it's a good question. One dime, if your partner bids one diamond, you can tell them a lot about your hand by bidding one no trump. You say, I do not have 4 spades. I do not have 4 hearts. I can't raise your diamond, and I don't have 13 points. So your partner now knows a lot about your hand. So they can pass over a diamond. But if a partner bid a heart or a spade and you bid one no trump, now there's a lot more ambiguity. Not only can you have 6 to 12 points, you could have the other major suit and you can't bid it, or you could have a really good club suit and 12 or 10 or 11, 12 points. So there's just more that you can have. So that's why it's just not forcing over one diamond. It's one heart or one spade only. I will tell you, that's a hard thing to remember about this. And probably the first few times you're playing 2/1 and your partner bids one no trump, where you're supposed to announce forcing, you're going to go back and forth and say, oh, forcing, oh, not, no, forcing, yes, no. Takes a while to get used to this. It's also not forcing if there's been an intervening bid. So if your partner bid a diamond and they bid a heart and you bid a no trump, it's no longer forcing because your partner will have another bid if they want to make another bid. And 2/1 is off. So it just means 6 to 9 now, not 6 to 12. So you have to kind of be considering all of this when partner bids one no trump. So, and this has to be dealt with a lot more often than the actual 2/1 game force has to do with. The forcing no trump comes up because of the 2/1 game force. But the 2/1 game force doesn't happen a lot, but the forcing no trump happens all the time. Out of 24 hands that you play in a regular game, the forcing no trump is probably going to come up 6 or 7 times in a game of 24 hands. comes up a lot more often for you and your opponents, counting all the hands. It's going to come up a lot more. So you really for sure need to know how to deal with the forcing no trump. So partners bid something, you have bid one no trump. Partner must bid. So let's talk about what these bids are that partner must make if partner must bid after your no trump bid. If partner bids two clubs, two diamonds, or two hearts, that means they had the original 5 of the major that they bid, hearts or spades, because remember, it's only forcing over a heart or spade, plus a 4-card suit and one of those other things. So if partner bid a heart or a spade and you bid one no trump, and they say 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, or 2 hearts, they have 4 cards in that suit generally. If they rebid their major suit, they're promising 6 cards in the suit. That's just the same as standard American. If it goes 1 heart, 1 no trump, 2 hearts in standard American, I'm promising 6 in the suit. Same thing is true in 2 over 1 with the forcing no trump, except now when it goes 1 heart, 1 no trump, 2 hearts, I had to bid, and the partner has between 6 and 12 points, not 6 and 9 points. It's also about 13 to 16 points. If I bid 1 heart to start and partner bids 1 no trump, and then I bid 2 spades, that is a reverse. And we had some people that did not know reverse when we were talking about that in class on Friday. And we usually don't talk about it in beginning bridge, but you should learn about it shortly after you get out of beginning bridge. A reverse bid is the bid of a second suit that is a higher level than the first suit. It means that the first suit is longer than the second suit, and you've got at least 17 or more points. You won't do it if you have less than that. Now, this is kind of hard to get in mind because if you bid a second suit after opening a first suit, the second suit can mean between 13 and 18 points. So it could mean you had a minimum hand, or it could mean you had 16 to 18, the medium hand. Could be either one of those. If it goes 1 diamond, 1 no trump, 1 heart, 1 no trump, 2 diamonds. A new suit by the opener could just be a minimum hand, but a 2 suited hand. Or it could mean that I've got a bigger hand, but I still don't have enough to jump shift, showing 19 points. So a second bid, a new suit by the opener, is ambiguous. It's 13 to about 18 points. It's a wide range. So it's not forcing because it could be 13 to 15, but because it could also be 16 to 18, you really try to bid again if you can. If it's at the 2 level, it's a little bit more likely that it's 16 to 18, not 13 to 15, but it could be 16 to 18. You just have a really good second suit. So second bid, new suit by the opener can be 13 to 18, unless it's a reverse. So if you opened 1 heart, partner bids 1 no trump, and then you bid 2 spades, that is a reverse and promises 16 points. The opposite, 1 spade, something by partner, 2 hearts, is not a reverse because hearts is the lower suit than spades. But when you bid as your second suit a higher suit than your first suit, you're promising 16 points. So partner needs to, and you both need to distinguish the difference between those two. And when you are promising 16 and when you're not, because when you reverse, partner knows you have 16 points and can count you for 16 points. So two things have to happen. Number one, you need to correctly recognize when you've got 16 points and can reverse, and when you don't have 16 points, so you can't bid that second suit. And partner has to realize when you've made a reverse and so are promising 16 points. If we have a situation where I've opened a heart, partner has bid 2 diamonds, I cannot bid 2 spades unless I have 16 points. So if I just have 14 points, I can't bid 2 spades. 1 heart, 1 diamond, 1 no trump by partner. I'm going to have to bid 2 no trump or rebid my hearts or raise his suit. If he had bid a suit, in this case, I said he bid no trump. But so this is an important distinction to make. But anyway, the idea of it is for the forcing no trump bid that the reverse is still on. So if I bid a heart, and so the forcing no trump is there, 1 no trump, and then I bid a spade, I'm promising a strong hand, 16, 17 plus. Another important thing to note is that this 2 balance, 2 no trump, if partner bids, if I bid one of something, a heart or a spade, and partner bids a forcing no trump, 1 no trump bid, 2 no trump by me is strong. It's that 18 or 19 point no trump hand where it's too strong to open 1 no trump, but not strong enough to open 2 no trump. You know, we come up against that all the time. So when we have that, then we are promising 18 or 19 points. So you need to remember that if you have opened a heart and partner does the forcing 1 no trump bid, that a 2 no trump bid for you means 18 or 19 points. So if you want to show a few extra points and we're thinking, well, maybe I'll raise no trump, you may be showing too many points if you raise no trump. It shows 18 or 19. You can't show just a few more. You would either have to bid a new suit, you know, or something else. But don't bid 2 no trump because 2 no trump is strong. If you bid at the 3 level, a jump shift promises 19 to 21, just like it does in regular bridge. And if you jump in your original major suit, so like 1 heart, 1 no trump forcing 3 hearts, I've got extra points and extra length. So 16, 17 plus and a 6 card suit. And if I just jump to the 4 level, I've got at least 19 points because with your at least 6 points and my 19 points, we've got a game. I'm going to bid 4 hearts. Now, all of these seems like a lot you would have to remember, but it's all logical based on standard American bridge. It's not too different from that, your second bid, okay? So 1 of something, 1 heart or 1 spade by me, forcing no trump by partner. I can bid 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, or 2 hearts, and it's generally just going to be showing a second suit. The little difference is if I really don't have a second suit to bid, then I can bid 2 clubs or 2 diamonds, but it's just kind of a waiting bid. It doesn't promise a lot, because I want to hear when you bid 1 no trump, if it's a forcing 1 no trump bid, you're 6 to 12 points. So as the opener, I've got to wait to hear your second bid for you to tell me what range you're in. It's going to make a big difference. If I just rebid my suit, I'm promising an extra 1. I can reverse. If I bid the 2 no trump, it's like the 1 of something jumped to 2 no trump. But in this case, partner has bid a no trump, the 2 no trump means 18 or 19. It would not mean that in standard American. In standard American, a sequence of 1 diamond by me, 1 no trump of my partner, 2 no trump by me shows some extra points, but an inability for me to have originally bid 1 no trump, probably because I was short in 2 suits, another suit, and the suit, so I couldn't bid no trump. But if you bid no trump, now I'm more comfortable saying, well, I have the no trump range. I just couldn't legally bid it to start. But if you've got a forcing no trump in there, the 2 no trump is promising 18 or 19. The jump shift is the same as in standard American. And really, the jump to 3 and the jump to 4 is the same as in standard American. So those aren't different. Basically, your second bid as the opener over a forcing 1 no trump is just about what it would be in standard American. So you don't really have to remember a lot there. Here are, though, the differences that come in are when the rebids by the no trump person. And the reason for that is when you made a forcing no trump bid, you promised 6 to 12, the wide range of bidding. So, you need to narrow that down now for partner. If you were the weak side, you may pass, you may, just rebid, you may do something at the 2 level. That shows partner, alert, I didn't have much. I'm on the short end of this. But if you raise, if you bid at the 3 level, if you make a more aggressive bid, you're saying, partner, I was at the higher level, 10 to 12. That's how you distinguish. That's how you start showing your partner whether you were a weak or strong 1 no trump level bid. And you have to be able to do that because the thing that 2 over 1 does, it widens that range. Well, 10 to 12 is pretty good amount of points going with an opening hand. 6 to 9, no. So you want to do a minimum. But 10 to 12, you want to be a little more aggressive. So let's look at the possibilities here. If you are weak, that is, you are at the low level of your no trump bid, just 6 to 9 points. You can just pass. If, for instance, your partner has made the 2 heart bid, he bid 2 hearts, you bid a no trump, he bid 1 heart, you bid 1 no trump, and he bids 2 hearts, just to tell you he has 6 in the suit, you can pass. Nothing further is required from you. If he bids something else, if he bid clubs or diamonds, and you really don't want to support hearts, but you don't have anything else you can say, if you're weak, you give what's called a false preference to his original suit. So that means sometimes, even if he hasn't rebid his hearts, you are going to raise his hearts with just 2. You give a false preference. You really don't have anything else to bid, but that tells him weak. You're on the weak side. So if you raise him, either you have support, 3-card support, and you're weak, or you may even have just 2-card support and weak, but definitely you're weak. If you have your own 5-card suit and you can still bid it at the 2 level, then you could bid it here to show, still would not show extra points because you would do it at the 2 level.
Does the 5-card suit have to be a good suit, like 2 of the top 3 or 3 of the top 5?
Doesn't really have to be a good suit, but it shouldn't be a terrible suit. It shouldn't be like headed by the 9, but you could just have like headed by the king, or maybe a king queen, which wouldn't meet the ordinary standards.
Okay.
So have something in it, but a 5-card suit. But
Okay.
you are going to bid that at the 2 level. You are not going to go to the 3 level unless you have 10 to 12 points. Or the book tells you that you can do what's called a weak raise. and it distinguishes between 8 to 10 points and 5 to 7 points on the weak side. So you're still on the weak side of your no trump bid, but it's telling you if you have even the shorter side, really low side, 6 or 7 points, you could bid one no trump and then bid two hearts. If you're a little bit stronger, 8 to 10 points, you can bid one heart, one no trump. You can raise directly, one heart, two hearts. That shows a few more. I really don't like that very much. What I think is a better thing to do is if you have just 3 cards support, and if you have 4 card support in the suit, you raise, instead of bidding one no trump first, you raise directly one heart, two hearts with 6 to 9 and 4 cards, one heart, 3 hearts with 10 to 12 and 4 cards in the suit. But if I only have 3 cards in the suit, he'll bid one heart, I'll bid one no trump, and then he'll bid one heart, I'll bid one no trump, and then he'll bid whatever he's going to bid, and then I bid 2 hearts. That shows a weak hand with 3 card support. If I had 3 card support and 10 to 12 points, it would go one heart, one no trump by me, 2 clubs, say by him, and then 3 hearts by me. That would show 3 cards in his suit and 10 to 12 points. So that to me is a better use than just doing it to divide up the little thing in the weak part, if that makes sense to anybody. If you see what I'm saying, they use it just to show a little bit of a differentiation at the lower level. Most people use it to show between 3 and 4 pieces. If you have 4, you directly support your partner. If you have 3, you go through no trump first and either bid at the 2 level next or the 3 level support, depending if you are 7 to 9 or 10 to 12. I think that's the better use of it. And I think people have gone more to that since this 2 over 1 Game Force book has been written. You'll find more people playing that. Okay, so if you have more, in other words, if you had the weak side of the no trump bid, if you're at the low side, 6 to 9, you were going to pretty much only bid at the 2 level, either rebidding partner suit, rebidding a 5 card suit you have at the 2 level. That's pretty much it. One of those 2 things. You'll make a minimum response at the 2 level. But if you've got 10 to 12 points, you are strong, you're at the high side of your one no trump forcing bid, then you can do a little bit more. So if you have 11 or 12 points, you'll bid 2 no trump. Okay, 1 heart, 1 no trump forcing, 2 clubs, 2 no trump. That second no trump bid means I was strong the first time I bid this. I have 10 to 12 points, 11 to 12, 10 to 12 points. Or it means what I was talking about just earlier. It means a 3 card support for partner. So 1 heart, 1 no trump by me, 2 diamonds by partner, 3 hearts by me. Says partner, I had 10 to 12 points and 3 card support. I would have jumped to 3 originally if I had 4 card support. If you have a 6 card suit, you can jump in the new suit. So you could jump to the 3 level if you have a 6 card suit. So it could be like 1 heart, 1 no trump, 2 clubs or 2 diamonds, 3 spades. That would show 10 to 12 points and a good 6 card spade suit. You just couldn't bid it before. Wait a minute. That wouldn't work because you could have bid one spade over one heart. So it would have to be one spade, one no trump, two clubs, three hearts. That would work. That's a better example. Or you can raise partner's second suit. That would show extra points. Because if partner bid a second suit, like one heart, one no trump, two diamonds, if you liked diamonds, but you were just 6 to 9 points, you'll pass. But if you were more, 10 to 12, and you have diamonds, you'll raise the diamonds. That shows a stronger no trump hand. Okay, does anybody have questions on any of that? The no trump is a little bit more to deal with because you have to remember that it's forcing, but it's only forcing over hearts or spades, not diamonds. And then for the partner who is forced to bid, basically what he's forced to bid is going to be pretty normal unless he really doesn't have a good second bid. Then he's going to bid clubs or diamonds just to kind of say I don't have anything else. So when partner makes that forced bid, one heart, one no trump, two clubs or two diamonds, don't take him real seriously for the club or diamond bid. He might have just three, probably has four, but it could be kind of weak. So don't get real excited to raise him unless you have a good 4 or 5 would be better. But most of what he does just makes sense. It's the second bid. For then the second bidder, which is the reason it's forcing, is because it has to give you as the no trump bidder a second bid. So you can differentiate between the lower no trump and the higher no trump. For what you should do then is your second bid needs to show you were weak, or your second bid needs to show you were strong. Basically, you do something at the 2 level or pass. If you were at the bottom level of your no trump, you bid something at the 3 level or 2 no trump if you were stronger. Okay, questions on anything? Those of you that are on? Okay, that is our one no trump bid. And so that is what we use a lot more often than we use the rest of 2 over 1, but it's more straightforward. The rest of 2 over 1, we're going to have the next 2 lessons are going to be on that. And we're going to talk about how to use the powerful 2 over 1 tool. Okay. All right. So I will see you guys next Friday then. Thank you for being